Good evening, YouTube, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And tonight, I would like to talk to you guys a little bit about the importance of maintaining a healthy marriage. And one thing that I want to point out is, in order for you to have a healthy marriage, it's very important that God is in the center of your marriage. And speaking from experience now, with some years, 19 going into 20 years of marriage with my lovely wife, I can tell you that when you get married, you're going to face obstacles, you're going to face challenges, you're going to go through ups and downs. But the one thing is to keep God in the center. That's what's going to help your marriage to get through those tough moments, because there will be tough moments. You'll be challenged, and those hard times that you go through in your marriage, in your relationship, that will build you up. It can either make you better or it can make you bitter. And the way for you to become better, for you to become stronger, for you to improve is to be able to look at things from a positive point of view, to have a good perspective. And that's going to help you. That's going to help you a lot. And I say this to the men, it's important that you understand that one of your roles in being a husband is to take charge in your relationship with God. It's, just being the example, taking the lead. It's amazing. It really blesses your family. Remember that if the head is not correct, then the house can fall apart. And it's very important that you're correct in your relationship with God, that you're walking correctly. And if you're going through something, talk about it. Don't have secrets. Learn to be open with your spouse. Is very important. And just remember that without God is very difficult. It's very difficult to do it. And just make the effort to make time for each other, because there'll be different seasons. There's a time when, if you have children, they're little and there are things that have to be sacrificed. And then as they get older, your life changes. But understand that there's just different seasons, and just learn to go through the different times together. Stay united. Make an effort to make time for each other. No matter how busy you are, make time for each other, because that's going to help you. There's marriages that, unfortunately, nowadays, they don't make time for each other, and they have children. And what happens is that when you don't make that time and you're kind of just going through the motions, once the kids get older and they go on to college, they leave the home. Once they're older, and if you lost touch with your partner, then what happens is you grow apart. And that's when, unfortunately, divorce takes place, separation. I hear a lot of people say, well, we're not into each other anymore. We used to be. Well, obviously, if you're not spending time together, you grow apart. That's what happens. So I say make the effort to make time for each other. No matter how busy you are, it doesn't have to be something, you know, lavish, but, sometimes you just got to keep it simple. And me, I've learned it's just being simple. You don't have to go crazy, but do make time for each other, you know? Don't lose that connection. And that way, you'll keep that interest. You'll keep that fire alive, So it's very important, and just be very careful. A lot of times too, we spend sometimes, I'm gonna say we spend more time in our careers, in our job with other people more than we spend time with our family at home. So that's something that you have to be very careful, and it goes for both men and women. It's really important that you make time for each other, because if you're going through something and you're not making that time, it's risky. There's been situations, of people who, have lost their marriage due, to infidelity, with people at work. And you have to just be very, very careful and, protect what's yours, protect your home, protect your relationship. And one of the best ways to do it is, like I mentioned before, pray. Make that time to pray. You have to have, a solid relationship with God, but also pray together. Make time also to pray together, because when you unite in the spirit, oh man, it's just beautiful, man. It's a beautiful thing. And I'm speaking from experience. I know that I don't have, the years that others have. There's other people that they've been married for 40 years, 35 years. They've been in marriage a lot longer. But I'm speaking on the experience that I have. That's what I've seen, and it works. It works. But definitely make an effort and make that time for each other, and that way you stay connected, because that person that you have, don't take that person for granted. Women, don't take your husbands for granted, and husbands, don't take your wives for granted. There's a reason that you guys are together. There's a purpose why you guys are together. It's not just to be parents. It's to do things together. So make the effort. And I can't stress it enough, go the extra mile and spend time with each other, no matter how busy you are, whether you have a career, whether you have a business. Always make the time for each other. And that way you can keep your marriage going. You can, stay together and be united. So, I just felt, to share that with you guys. Anyone that, is married. I hope that this message, this short message, is a blessing, and that it encourages you, that it motivates you. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.